On today's stream, we're going to be playing more Slickshot Show Off. This 2-cost red bird has flying and haste. It's a 1/2. Whenever you play a non-creature spell, it gets +2/+0 until end of turn. It also has the ability Plot, which means you can pay for it up front and then cast it with haste later on. This card in particular is quite strong because of the haste. And, you know, we've seen many creatures in Magic's past that have the ability to +1/+0, +1/+1, +2/+0, +3/+0, even with Kiln Fiend, whenever you play a non-creature spell. But Slickshot Show Off meets the criteria of having evasion, haste, and enough damage. I've seen some builds playing like Storm Chaser Mage, the 2-cost 1/3 flying wizard, in like Is It Prowess, for example. But I felt like that card in particular was just not quite good enough, even though it turns on Wizard's Lightning. But Slickshot Show Off is basically just like right over the edge. And it's really reshaping how we think about aggro in Pioneer. It's really reshaping how we think about aggro in many formats, including Modern, where you get access to Lava Dart and free spells like Mutagenic Growth. In today's build, we're going to be focusing on one card to pair with Slickshot Show Off, and that's Blossoming Defense. For 1 green, you get an instant that gives your creature a +2/+2 and it gains hexproof until end of turn. We played a Boros Heroic deck on stream about 2 weeks ago, where instead of Blossoming Defense, we were using Lauren's Escape, and God's Willing it was something that you can also play. But these protective elements basically give you the ability to play Show Off with Plot with full mana up, play a couple of spells to give it a buff, and then you still have Blossoming Defense or something similar to keep it from dying to spot removal. Blossoming Defense is pretty rad because it's also just a buff effect, so you can give +2/+2 while you're doing your combo kill thing. The other card that we're pairing with it is Monstrous Rage. Monstrous Rage, for 1, you get a roll token that's a monster, so it's +1/+1 trample. And then you also get +2/+0. So it's basically +3/+1 till end of turn, and then a perpetual +1/+1. And so you're going to see me cast Monstrous Rage to deal extra damage sometimes, but also to put that counter on our creature to buff it to win combat, deal extra damage, and the like. And then Blossoming Defense is just going to make casting Monstrous Rage much safer because we have the ability to keep it from dying. We have some interaction with Play with Fire and Witchstalker's Frenzy. These are removal spells to clear the way. We have 2 copies of Audacity, which also work really well with Blossoming Defense. Instead of maxing out on Audacity because it costs green mana, we are playing 1 copy of Demonic Ruckus, which is pretty similar in concept and execution, but is mono red and has Plot for 1. We also have a Tarkus command to do burst damage from our creatures. Deal 3, give everything +1/+1. In conjunction with Monstrous Rage, we might be able to protect our creature from some damage-based removal with the Tarkus command, which is nice. The putting in land almost never happens. Sometimes you can keep your opponent from gaining life. Most of the time, it's deal 3, pump my creatures. That's kind of the nature of it. I'm not the biggest fan of a Tarkus command in Pioneer. I don't know why. I feel like people have this image in their head of what a Tarkus command does, and it's kind of perverted from when it was in Modern, where you would play Tarkus command just to give +1/+1 to like a Goblin Guide and deal 3, so it was kind of like a 2-mana deal 4. But in Standard, when people were playing a Tarkus command like Tom the Boss Ross, Boss Fred, for example, was using a Tarkus command to buff tokens. And he'd play like Dragon Fodder, Hordling Outburst, right? And then a Tarkus command not only was dealing 3, but it was also dealing 1 for every creature. So it's 4, 5, 6. And so for 2 mana, you would often deal 6, sometimes more burst damage. And that's something that many of the decks that play Tarkus command and Pioneer just don't do. And I don't think that a Tarkus command is necessarily good enough without playing something like Hordling Outburst, but I don't think Hordling Outburst is good enough. So I'm just very dubious of the Tarkus command in general, but there's been tons of 5-0s with this build of Gruul Slickshot, so we're going to be starting here, and then we'll kind of pick and choose as we go and make some changes. The creature suite, we're playing the 8 Prowess creatures, Swift Spear, and Soulscar Mage, but we are not playing Wizards, just so you know. We're not playing Wizard's Lightning, so we're not playing Gitu Lava Runner. We do have Kamano Faces Kakazan, which is another great threat that can also put a +1/+1 counter on one of your Prowess creatures, which makes them very difficult to kill. 4 Slickshot Show Off. This is the bird. And then 4 Questing Druid. Questing Druid is kind of a split card that's a large creature, or it's the top 2 cards of your deck, or it's both. And most of the time you're going to play Seek the Beast on your opponent's instep because there's a window where you can play the spells, and most of the time the window is one full turn cycle. And so if you use it on your opponent's instep, you have your whole own full turn to use it. So you're going to see a Seek the Beast on turn 2, I think, quite often. And you might even see it on your... it says until your next instep. So you can actually technically play it on your own instep, and then it won't go away until a full turn cycle, so you'll get a full turn to use them, and that can protect you if your opponent's like plays a tap steam vents, for example. You can go to your instep, play Questing Druid, Seek the Beast, and then your opponent can't untap with a Spell Pierce, and you get to untap and then play those cards before your opponent can counter the Seek the Beast. So the sideboard, we have a third Witchstalker's Frenzy to help clear large creatures, 2 Case of the Crimson Pulse, which I'm not sold on. I've tried this in mono red quite a few times. I don't know that I have ever drawn 3 cards. I think I drew 3 cards one time, but it was like way back when we first started playing the I don't know. It was before Slickshot Shelf was printed, was when I played Case and drew 3. But ever since I started playing mono red, I haven't drawn 3 off of Case. The game's either way over before that happens, or I'm already dead. 2 Magebane Lizard. This is going to be good against Phoenix and some other spell-based decks like Lotus Field. It also has 4 toughness, allows us to still play Giganta. 3 copies of Riding Volley for the blue and white creature decks. 2 Red Cap Melee for the mirrors. 3 Pick Your Poison for the big flying vampires. And 1 Rampaging Froston for Amalia. This is Gruul Slickshot. Let's play League. So this hand looks pretty good. We're going to keep, and we'll go turn 1 Swifty. We're in the draw, though, so if they play a creature that we want to kill, we might go turn 1 Play with Fire. Turn 2 Plots. Islands. Okay, so this could be a Spirits type deck. It could be blue-black. It could be Azorius Control, but Azorius Control doesn't usually play basic island. Okay, so what if I just plot Ruckus? Alright, I'm going to plot Ruckus. I've never plotted Ruckus before, so I'm going to... Is PUBG free? I believe PUBG is free to play, yes. Alright, we'll plot this one as well. The bird is the word. So next turn we'll go Bird, Swift Spear. I'll go Land, Bird, Swift Spear. Ruckus on Swift Spear. Double Monstrous Rage, Swift Spear. Something like that. Force them to try to kill this. Oh, okay. So we might actually be getting Spirited here. Spirited away. I'll start with a Slickshot. Let's see what they do. Alright, let's go for a Ruckus on the Swift Spear and see what they do. Veto on the Ruckus. Are they dead? Okay. We'll go 1 Monstrous Rage on either of them because of the extra buff. But I think this is not lethal, but it's really close. 17. So they're dead to Play with Fire plus any burn. If they go Verdict here or whatever, that's fine. We'll go Upkeep, Play with Fire, look for a haste creature or anything that deals 1. Alright, we're going to go draw because they didn't play 4th land. So if we draw something for Soken's on. Okay, so we'll just attack with both, and then we have Blossoming Defense, Play with Fire. Should be good. What's up, Kaburb? Go says, yo, I'm here for the Gruul YouTube VOD. Definitely going to try to run some version of your Listen RCQ next weekend. Cheers for that. Get Lost. We'll go with Blossoming Defense and see what they do. I don't really want to show this to them, but there's a chance, you know, I don't know if there was something that they could do, like bounce this for 1 mana or whatever. Okay, so Demonic Ruckus looked pretty good there, not going to lie. Yeah, Ghost, if you're interested in a full guide, I do have a sideboard guide on Patreon now for mono red, if you're interested in the mono red. But this is the first time I played the green red one, I think. Magebane can come in. I like the Dawn, and I like the Cases. We like to go a little bit longer. Witchstalker can come out. I like Blossoming Defense, but I dislike Audacity. So maybe I actually board out. Oh, actually, maybe I need Audacity to just play something early as bait. Okay, I don't think any of these other cards are good. Even Pick Your Poison, even though it can take out the temporary lockdown, just don't know how useful it is most of the time. Could trim some Play with Fire. Could trim. I think a Tarkus Command's fine. Blizzard's really bad. I found it to be good against both Lotus Field and Phoenix, and I thought maybe it'd be okay here, just as a threat that deals them a damage whenever they cast a thing. And I think that I'm right. I think more creatures is fine, and I just want to cut some of these like burn spells or whatever. But you might be right that it's not worth a sideboard slot, and that's fine. That's a different thing. All right, we'll cut 2 Play with Fire, 2 Witchstalker, and 1 Atarkus command. No, let's keep one of the Atarkus commands. I guess the Play with Fire is just worse because we don't have Spectacle to enable, so. Are they control our spirits? They're blue-eye control. They played Dovin's Veto. I feel homesick. No, where I'm going. We keep this hand. What are the odds that I hardcast a Questing Druid on turn 2? Pretty low, probably. But I still think we play turn 1 Kamano, and then if we draw a creature, we'll play it. I don't think we upkeep Play with Fire or anything like that. The first land is Otawara, which is never a good sign for them. Alright, we'll just play Kamano here, and then we'll go for EOT, Seek the Beast on Questing Druid, or maybe during our own instep if they give us a window. Alright, cool, Ghost. Appreciate you. Fresh Kale says I want to RCQ this weekend with Slickshot and Phoenix. That's fucking rad, actually. It's really cool. Alright. I guess we will just say go. And the Questing Druid might get countered, but we can maybe find a spot where it won't get countered. So maybe we just fire off this Atarkus command. Let's just do 3 damage to each opponent and put a land on the battlefield. I've never done this before, but it might actually be good. Because we just don't have anything to buff. They might counter because they think we have a land that matters, but we don't. I'll put in the Summon Ground and Play with Fire. Just use mana. Magebane Lizard. I guess that one's pretty good because we can go attack for 2, play Magebane, and then we can Seek the Beast. Let's start with Magebane and see if they go counter. Before I attack, that way if they have something that kills attacking creatures, they take a damage. Alright, so now we'll attack with the Kumano. Alright, well, let's see what they go for. My guess is some sort of Wrath effect just going to kill these 2, and they're going to take some damage. Alright, this is Verdict. They take 1. We'll go for end of turn, Questing Druid, Seek the Beast. Alright, so we find 2 Monstrous Rage. Not the best in the world. Haste Creature here would be nuts. Oh my god. This is lethal? It's lethal, chat? Is it lethal? I don't know if it's lethal because each of them only gives 1 roll token. So we might be short by 1. I will go Kamano first. That way we can get the buff. Tarka's good versus Amalia? Yeah, it can be. I just think Amalia is just an excellent deck. And so no matter what you do against Amalia, you're going to probably get whipped at some point. Didn't draw the land. We're going to go for Soulscar Mage here. So they're playing Insoul, so let's just hope they don't have the turn 2 Insoul. But even if they do, if we draw a land, we can go flip Kamano, attack, and use Witchstalker to kill the Insoul. So we actually have a good line against Insoul on 2. Torch the tower on my Soulscar Mage. Okie dokie. And a combat courier. Okay, so we'll flip Kamano, and I'll probably put Audacity on it, but we'll see what we draw. Alright, so let's go Audacity on this. I kind of want a Monstrous Rage just to push damage. And if they go for a Shrapnel Blast on it, that's fine. And even if they go for a Torch the Tower, I still draw a card because the Audacity goes to the graveyard. Cryptic Coats. Okay. Can't be blocked. So it's a 3/2, right? So it's attack. And if they want to block, we'll probably play with Fire Face. This is 5. We're very close to killing them, right? They have to have like Summoner now next turn. They block here, but they get trampled on. I don't know if this is lethal, but it's pretty close to lethal. And the Atarka's command's definitely lethal. Let's bottom the land, I guess, just in case. Alright, they're at 3 and we draw. So we have Atarka's command to finish them off. I do like the idea of Cryptic Coats in those decks. With the Light, the Sage, and Reckless Impulse, I feel like 19 lands is fine in this mono red list. That's fine. A lot of people agree with you. I played like 10 leagues or something, and I felt like the 20th land was better. The deck always felt smoother with 20 lands. I kept so many 1-land hands on 19. But I agree, like 19 is probably the right number, and I'm probably being a little emotionally biased, but it's very hard for me to separate those two things, you know. Alright, maybe I should have... Alright, so they're just tapping out. That's good. So we'll just go upkeep Atarka's command. So we had it the whole time. I basically just walked the dog. I was just walking the dog. You know? So we do like... Pick your poison. And the Running Volleys and Red Cap Melees are pretty weak, but I think the Witchstalker is okay. And then I think this is a matchup where we can probably board out Blossoming Defense, but maybe not. Just more, when you bring in removal, the protection spells are weak. I like Audacity and Demonic Ruckus, but they're just going to be tapping out most turns, so I think protection is just unnecessary. With that said, you know, we do have big burst kill turns with the bird that our opponent can knock off with a Torch to Tower, right? Feels good having aggro be good again. I really like playing decks like this. I've been really enjoying myself. Let's keep this hand. I think we still Kamano first, even though we have the double prowess creature. I'm glad you're enjoying it, Ghost. I like going over each of the decks for like a little while to give you like an idea of what I think about each of the matchups, you know? Alright, Witchstalker, let's see. I want them to kill Swiftspear if they have a removal spell over Soulscar, because Soulscar is better against Insoul Artifact. And then we'll go post-combat, play Soulscar, and then next turn, we're not going to be able to kill them, but we will be able to deal them lots of damage and clear out 2 of their blockers, 2 of their creatures. Isn't Ruckus just Kamano copies 5 through 8? No. Ruckus is a liability sometimes, because your opponent can kill the thing you target. It also doesn't flip into a creature. I do think Ruckus is good. I think it's basically Audacity, but for red, but I don't know how many of those I want to play, and I do think Audacity is slightly better because it costs 1 on the front. Ruckus is like too much of a telegraph when it's good. Beast of Burn, thanks for 28 months. Appreciate you. Over 2 years of Pioneer. Goodness, loving it, man. Keep it up. Thank you so much, Beast. Appreciate you. I will take the 3. So they play Otawara. Torching the little guy. That's kind of what I thought might. Insult on defense. Lol. Chat, what do we think about Insult on defense? Do we think our opponent's alive or? Alright, attack with both. Before blocks. Frenzy this. Alright, so take 5. I can rage for 4 more. I think I'll just play Soul Scar. Inti, Seneschal. So now they can crew copter, attack with both, but they're just very close to dying. They're very close to dying. Copter, this is one of the reasons why Copter is kind of fallen out of favor, because it's way better to be able to play offense and defense. And both Inti and Copter are like really low to the ground, like aggressive creatures. And like, for example, Rakdos midrange was playing the it was playing this combination of cards for a couple weeks and a couple months actually, and it was really good against like Azorius control, but it was pretty bad against like everything else. Okay, so do we upkeep? Do we play with Fireface, looking for another 1-mana thing? I think the answer is yes. This Monstrous Rage is gonna just target whatever gets blocked, and then Questing Druid. I guess in case this isn't lethal, or in case we need another thing, Questing Druid can get us there. See how they block. They'll probably block Kamana. They might block Swifty. Alright, so it's 3, 4, 5. So this is 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I guess it's the same no matter if I put it here, right? So let's just try it here. Bang, 0. Fun is a Yorion deck. We don't have a 1-drop creature. We do have Quest. I think without a 1-drop against Yorion, we're going to be too slow, so I'm just going to mulligan. Alright, this hand's a bit better. We'll keep. Put back Carplusion. We are on the draw, but we have 2 1-drop creatures and a Monstrous Rage, so I'm feeling okay. We'll start with Soul Scar into Swiftspear Monstrous, just for burst. Another land is not it. I do think the Breakout Burning Tree Emissary version is interesting. I haven't played it yet, but I did watch a whole league of it from Doomwake, and it felt like it was just not very consistent. Like, it was just doing too many weird things. Alright, Kamano is actually a great pickup here because it's extra damage and an extra threat. Play Swifty. Yeah, so the Niv matchup, something you might want to try is that 3-mana bird. This like Spell Queller or whatever. I don't know the name of it. It's a new one. Alright, if we get hit with Tip Lockdown, we lose, but that's just the way the cookie crumbles. Yes, Aven Interrupter, that's the one. I do think that that could be a good sideboard plan for any white deck that's struggling with Wrath effects and like the big 5-drops. You could also just play blue for like Spell Pierce or something. I don't know. Let me draw Bird. Bird, 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 bird. Oh my god. We're going to cast it so it gets the counter and we can attack. Alright, so let's attack with these. See what they do. They have to have something. Leyline Binding. Okay, let's see what they target. They'll probably target Slickshot, and we'll just target one of the others with the Rage. Probably should target Swiss Beer. I just clicked the wrong one. They're basically the same at this point. All right, they're down to 8. We did mulligan, and I mean, our hand was okay. We're going to need to find something off the top here to come back into it, though. Fires plus a sweeper here is probably bad. Portable hole. That one I can beat. Fires in the portable hole is not a big deal. So we transform this. Worst case scenario by Gigantha. They're dead to a Tarkus command. Alright, we'll put them to 2 by Gigantha. Let's just hope they don't. I'm going to bottom this. It can kill the Leyline Binding with Slickshot, but I just don't have a way to do any extra damage. So I think I just want a damage-based effect. I think Breakout's probably better as a deck when you don't have Slickshot. That's fair. It's kind of like playing Collect a Company in a deck that like has a bunch of spells or whatever. Ward, at the beginning of your upkeep. This has lifelink. Okay. So we might be in trouble. What does this do? Exile top X cards where X number of card types from non-permanents you control. You may play those cards this turn. Okay, well, that's probably just going to beat me straight up. I guess. So they get enchantment, artifact, land, creature. So they get 4 cards off the top. 4 mana, 3/3. Okay, so they get lands and another fire. So we should be. We're definitely fine against that. But they do find a land number 5, so now they can play Mami and a Fable. Okay, 1 card left in hand. Any burn spell. Our burn spell doesn't do it because of the Archon's lifelink. I think that we're just dead. We'll take a draw, though. Yeah, I think we got a little unlucky to lose this game. I mean, we drew a bunch of lands. We kept 3. We only drew 2 off the top. Okay, well. I don't think this will do anything, but we could draw Tarka's Command and Play with Fire as our 2. So we have Monstrous Rage and Soul Scar. Okay, well, I guess we'll just attack. I mean, attacking is bad. They just have these life linkers, right? Like, jeez Louise. What are we supposed to do? The answer is nothing. The answer is we're supposed to be dead, but maybe they'll block in such a way where they lose. Jose Tor, thanks for the follow. Yeah, I mean, they're gonna kill the Gigantha. This doesn't do anything. Trembling here doesn't do anything. Oh, I can't change the order? That's lame. I guess I just missed the spot where I could. I just can't win. It's fine. Next game. So their enigmatic stuff will bring in Magebane. Pick your poison. I'm gonna leave in Witch Stalker maybe, but I kind of want to cut them. I kind of just want to go mono face as fast as possible. Blood Fire has very few targets that matter. And we'll leave in the Blossoming Defense. I don't want to cut the Ruckus, but maybe we just cut one more Play with Fire. Was not quite lethal in that spot. We really needed it. The Dawn is probably supposed to come in as well. Opener, we'll keep. Hopefully we naturally draw lands. Alright, we'll lead with Kamano. And then if we draw the land, I think we'll play Mage Bane on 2 just to have a bigger thing that deals them damage. But maybe that's worse than just going Soulscar Audacity. We'll see. Alright, tap Sacred Foundry. No lands. Soulscar it is. Alright, so they can't binding me. Chain me. Okay. So we can just go ahead and pick your poison that, I guess. But maybe instead just go Audacity. That way if they kill it, we get to draw a card and maybe find land. Plus pick your poison can maybe make them sack an artifact if we need them to. At this point, you know, the chain is like the lowest on the totem pole because it's just the Soulscar Mage under it. Maybe that means pick your poison's not good. Maybe I should have just played. Man, okay. Alright, so we draw a card off the Audacity. No land still. If we draw a land, we're in business. If we don't draw a land, we're dead. Chain me into lockdown? Yeah. That'll be good for game 4 after I lose 0-2. They don't have blue yet for Enigmatic. That's nice. They can play this tap and just buy Yorion. Last game we flooded, this game we screwed. That's kind of how I lose a lot when I play aggro decks. It's unfortunate, but it's kind of the nature of just playing a low land count deck. I don't think we should have mulligan. I think it was an okay keep. Alright, we finally found the land. So we go plot, Slickshot. And then if they tap out, we just kill them. Maybe we should play Mage Bane Lizard. But now we just have a line where whenever they tap out, they can die. Especially if I draw Blossoming Defense. Enigmatic sacking this means they get a 7. They can get a Trax or something and probably dead. I guess I can make them sack a Flyer. How's the deck faring? I mean, we're 2-0 so far. Deck feels good. Alright, here's a Trax, so let's see what they reveal. They did find a binding, so we can't play the Slickshot yet. Alright, so they got Glasspool, Fires, Rogren. Wow, Blossoming Defense. Alright, so we'll cast. I assume that they have a Leyline Binding here. So we'll go cast. Each opponent sacks a creature with flying. Pick your poison, so strong. Alright, well, they didn't... They paused like they had nothing, so we're gonna go for a big burst here. Now there are 2, and we have a Tarkus command. I thought that they had Leyline Binding, but I figured they would have played it there, and I would have hit them with the Blossoming Defense, but I can't just leave a mana on the table, I don't think. Especially against a deck that's probably got at least 1 Wrath effect, but maybe not. They kept Fires, which means they probably have another... I guess now they're just going to go get a 5-drop, but we'll see. I guess maybe they'll go get Tolsimir and fight. Oh, maybe I should have put it on this because of that, so they can't Tolsimir fight me. That was bad. Let's see. Cast Elishnorn? Okay, so it doesn't matter. They're gonna gain, I think, 12? I don't know how it works. They get double Voja, double fight, I think. So I think they gain 12. And both of my creatures die. Oh, they didn't have Swamp. That's a good point. They couldn't Binding for 1. Skyclave Apparition, so they get double Skyclave. That's fine. We win that one. If it was Tolsimir gaining life, we lose, but now we don't. Alright, 3 damage, you can't gain life. Alright, so I guess we want the Dawn. Maybe the Dawn on the draw is bad. But I can't imagine Play with Fire is very good. Reveal the Jegman. Alright, let's hope they mulligan a bunch. Our hand is pretty good. I can't believe we won that game. Our hand in the opener was solid, but we just didn't draw land for almost 4 turns or something. Finally drew the land. Got them in a big damage burst with the Slickshot. Got them pinched. Their whole deck works at sorcery speed, except for Binding. Wonder if I should play Soulscar on 1 and then Kumano on 2 in some spots. I'm curious when I'm supposed to. Maybe in games like this where I'm really wanting to play Seek the Beast early. At the Beanstalk, okay? Like here, I really want to play Questing Druid, honestly. Is that weird? I'll just play Soulscar. It's like a pretty weak play, but I think maybe that's... I should have done it in reverse, right? Ellie's Presence, okay. Alright, so... Audacity's pretty good. Alright, so let's go... The Soulscar is most likely to die. So we'll go for... I will go ahead and play the land. Let's go for Audacity and Monstrous Ray. Let's just do them both. Let's just get in a bunch of damage. Take 11 down to 6, and now we have... If we draw a green source, we double Tarkus Command. If we don't, we can go lock them out maybe for a turn to keep from gaining life. They have to gain a bunch of life and kill at least one of these this turn, something like that. And it's going to be very difficult to do. They can go, I guess, Fires into Enigmatic and go get a 5. And that could be Tolsimir, which fights 1 and gains some life. But they didn't play Tolsimir last game, so either they don't have Tolsimir or took it out of the deck or drew it. Do you think that Gruul Prowess has a better chance of performing well than Izzet Prowess? Been thinking about Izzet Prowess and a Pioneer. I haven't played Prowess in a while. I don't personally like Izzet Prowess. I think that Consider with the 1-drop creatures is bad. But I don't know how to stress that to people, like, without sounding like a crazy person. But I just don't feel like it does enough. Alright, let's attack with the Etching. I'll explain better in a moment. Beseiju targeting the Etching. I don't have a Forest, but I do have a Stomping Ground, so I can go get that. 3 damage, can't gain life. I kind of want to mulligan this hand. I think I'm gonna. I'll keep this bad one because we have a Sokanzon and a Questing Druid. Go back to Carplusion. Unfortunately, we are mulliganing and on the draw, but it is what it is. Uh-oh. What if I don't play Soulscar Mage? What if I just don't play it? What if I just don't play Soulscar Mage? What if I just don't let it die to this very obvious play with fire? Oh, they went face. I guess that's a good reason to play the Soulscar Mage. Alright, let's see what they did with it. They left it on, or they put it on bottom, so they might miss their second land drop here. They do miss their second land drop. Alright, so let's shock. Alright, let's see what they do again. Alright, so they did not play another play with fire, so they kept the one play with fire, one lander. I don't know what's in their hand. Maybe it's a bunch of whatchalls. Alright, we'll go for Seek the Beast, and then worst case scenario, we do have the Druid to play. Monster Trades play with fire. Alright, so Swiss Spear. We'll go for Play with Fire first to pump our creatures. This will get them out of range of the Play with Fire. And then next turn we can go Questing Druid plus a Tarkus command. But I do have to play the Monstrous Rage this turn, so we will. And I would rather keep the Soulscar alive, so we'll put the counter on that. Any chance we can play one Become Immense? You can do whatever your heart desires. I don't know why they're conceding. Alright, Red Cap melee. Witchstalker. Magebane hits me too, but they have more things that deal them damage, and we're on the draw, so I think a turn 2 Magebane on the draw is actually not bad. So this is, and then this is a matchup where you can cut like the buff effects, Demonic Ruckus and Audacity, because no one's blocking. I still think Monstrous Rage is good. A Tarkus command comes out, that's right. And then we can maybe leave one Audacity. Don't think Dawn is good, but whatever. Yeah, I don't mind it. I think Magebane Lizard's okay. I'm still on the fence on it, but I still think it's fine. I'll keep, because we have Beseiju to kill Kumano, but I'm not super stoked. They're mulling into 5, though, so I do feel better now. If I get to untap with Swiss Spear, we can play Audacity and hold a Blossoming Defense, so I may wait until turn 2 to play the Swiss Spear, depending on what they do. Like, if they play like a 1-2, right, I'll just chill. Alright, we'll just chill. So if we play the Swiss Spear, we just run it right into a thing. Alright, so they plot the Slickshot, that's fine. Alright, let's go for Swifty. No attack. We could have put Audacity on it, but there's a chance they just go cast Bird and just light us up. So I'm trying to play around that a little bit. We'll definitely just take the one here. I guess it's not definite, because they might have light up the stage. But we'll just take it. And if they play light up the stage, I might kill this now. They've already played... They have not played a land. They find 2 mountains. That could be good, but it could be bad for them. This is not threatening to be dead here, which is cool. Alright, so let's go for Audacity and see if they want to fight, and we can get them with the Blossoming Defense. Alright, well, it is what it is. So now they're going to go Slickshot. They might go for a Wizard's Lightning on this. I will probably protect with defense. But maybe they just go face, but they have very few resources. Mm-hmm. 2 cards left in hand. Let's hope that they're just lands and creatures. Alright, we don't have any interaction, so we'll just wait. Make them go first. Searing Blood. Okay, we will go for the protection. And now they only have 1 card left in hand. And now if this is Wizard's Lightning or something, they can kill this, but we do draw a card. And the Searing Blood, to me, signifies that they are probably not playing Wizard's Lightning, but... Alright, so we'll go for Monstrous Rage and a big attack. And this will keep us from losing to those spells that deal 2. And this is about half their life. And now if they fire up Den and attack, we can Besage you the Den, and then we can activate our own Den next turn. And I don't really want to let them Den me here, because they're so low on resources. Alright, so they're just going to attack for 2. They only got 1 card in hand, and they don't have Giganther in their deck, so we're not dead here. Not even close. Alright, so we'll Besage you their land, and then we'll untap and we'll Den and go for the lethal. We have Threatening Lethal. Alright, so they Witchstalker me. We do get to draw a card, but then we'll attack with Den. Surprised they did this now. They missed out on 3 damage, but I don't know. I do think it's worth it to just do this to basically change how they play for the rest of the game. If we play Slickshot and attack for 1, we're not really threatening lethal or anything. But this is like, now they have to hold back a blocker, and they might want to hold back both. Especially if they just draw land. It's not strange. They were just kind of playing around my stuff. But they just didn't know if I had another Blossoming Defense or not. Yeah, so now they hold back both. So now we can like... I guess we can just cast Show Off. I don't think plotting it's that good, because we're just like not attacking anyway. But we might need it to block. We'll buy Jeg. We could have attacked with this and traded with the Slickshot. But we're just going to try to put enough threats into play that they're just bottlenecked. Oh, another land? That's such good news for me. Even if they kill Slickshot, it's not enough. All right, a premature concession, but we'll take it. All right. Round 5. We'll be on the play. Being on the play for the last one always feels good. Oh, what a good hand. We'll keep. I think I'll lead off with Soul Scar, because we just have some hasters. Although, yeah, I guess the Swiftspear is missing a damage if we wait, but we can maybe play it way later, and it has haste, whereas the Soul Scar won't. And so we're trading 1 damage from now for a potential 2 or 3 damage later, which I think is worth. I'm gonna skip through my turn on accident. I've like never done that. Luckily I didn't have 6. What's up, Bajan? Alright, mono green. Okay, so I'm just gonna play a Show Off. And if I draw land, I will play Slickshot and Monstrous Rage, but maybe I should just play Slickshot plus Swiftspear. We can't kill them next turn, no matter what we do. So we have to go for like a turn 4 kill. All right, well, they had a great start. Turn 1 Elf, turn 2 Nykthos Troll, plus what, Cavalier? Okay, so I'm hoping they attack with Troll, but maybe they won't. We need to draw a burn spell some kind here. Oh, that's good enough. So they block here and they take a bunch. They had just an incredible draw on the draw though, so we win. Too bad. I mean, I think like Giant Growth would just be good enough here in general. So this is 8. Classic show-offs. All right, I want Dawn. The Blossoming Defenses are pretty weak, so what can we get in here over Blossoming Defense? Maybe Witch Stalker, Mage Bane, and we cut 3 Blossoming Defense, something like that. I don't think Redcap's good enough. They don't have enough pick your poison targets. Case isn't good enough. Maybe another Mage Bane over the other Blossom. This is maybe too many creatures though, but we had a very creature heavy draw that game. You regret your odds choice? Why? Why would you regret your odds choice? We just killed them on turn 4 through a Cavalier. Okay, we're going to keep this hand, but we desperately need to draw land. But this hand is very good. Even without the land, it's very good. And I'll be casting Show Off on 2 instead of suspending it. I guess they could have Pick Your Poison. In fact, maybe that is something we need to be concerned with. So maybe that means Swiss Spear first, so I can suspend Slickshot next turn. I think that's fine, because then the Kumano does more burst damage with the Slickshot. But I think playing around Pick Your Poison makes sense. We'll see, though. It might not be, like, now, with this on turn 2, I don't know if we can even afford to play around it. Let's just cast it. Let's just... Mono green doesn't... the 1 point might kill us, so let's just attack. Because I don't think I can kill them in 1 swing. And so we're going to need the bird to survive for multiple turns anyway. Yeah. That's the thing, man. It's so hard to beat Pick Your Poison in general. The card's just very strong. But they don't have Nykthos yet. They found Voracious Hydra. They basically can't quest, though, which is kind of nice. Okay, so I can attack if they block. We can't get this exiled in any way. But we can play with fire this and Monstrous Rage this. But then this only has 4. But I guess instead of Monstrous Rage, we can Atarka's Command. So it's 2, 3, 4. But this is also 2, let's see, no, 3, 4, 5. So this is also, so yeah. So Monstrous Rage is the same. So I guess we Kumano as well, right? So we go play with fire this. They will keep the old growth troll around, but we'll be able to keep attacking through it. Gather courage. Okay. All right, see how big this Voracious Hydra is going to be. So if it's a 3/4, so it's a 3/4, right? So we just buff it, and it has 4 toughness. Oh, they didn't fight? Oh my god, I thought they fought. All right, well, we're dead. I guess I learned my lesson. Just always plot. Always plot. All right, always plot. I could have sworn they targeted. All right. We're throwing. I don't think we would have won that game anyway, but we were definitely throwing. Play first, yeah. I'm surprised they attacked. It's weird. We'll keep, and we'll go Soul Scar first. So we can go turn to Swiss Sphere plus. Gather Courage is a nice one, though. It's one we found way back in the day. Worked in Standard. 3 spells. All right, so I still want to go Swiss Spear plus Play with Fire. Now the question is, do I just main phase the Questing Druid to get the burst? And I think the answer is maybe yes. Oh, not anymore. Now it's Kumano plus Magebane. And the next one will main phase Questing Druid into stuff. Oh, I didn't do this. This is maybe weak against them because it doesn't stop any of their creature stuff. That's okay. I would love to get a land. Thank you. All right. Questing Druid. Oh, Slickshot. Okay, did I learn my lesson? What's the lesson? We'll just plot and say go, I guess. I still think I EOT the Questing Druid. Another troll. Okay, so maybe I don't. Maybe I use the Seek on my turn to get this show-off damage. I think I'm going to. Alright, so let's go cast this. Seek the Beast. Audacity is a pretty darn good draw, though. Tarkus command. Okay. So we lose the Dawn, but that's okay. Alright, so Tarkus command gets us all of it. So we go 3 damage, plus 1 to each. And we're not lethaling. We are doing 8. But all their creatures die. And they do have a bunch of mana, so... But Magebane Lizard might actually shut them off. Cavalier is not good enough, even with Nykthos. I guess I shouldn't say that. Because this is 3, 6, 9. So they could play something big here, but I'm hoping Audacity is just good enough. But the Magebane Lizard puts them pretty low as well. I don't think the Magebane is good enough. I probably should not have brought it in. We might need something for big creature decks. But, chat, first league with Gruul Slickshot and a trophy. You love to see it. You love to see it. You really do. All right, so let's talk about the deck and let's talk about the things I liked and disliked. So for the main deck, I'm not sold that you need 4 Blossoming Defense. I think I cast Blossoming Defense to protect my creature 1 time, maybe 2 times, maybe 2 times. Atarka's command was surprisingly good. Better than I would normally think so, but I'm not sure that it was better than something like Lightning Strike or Skewer the Critics, you know? But without more direct damage, I don't think Skewer the Critics or those types of effects are worthwhile. And this deck is very obviously moving away from Get-To Lava Runner and Wizard's Lightning for good reason. Demonic Ruckus looked okay, the one game where I had it. Audacity looked pretty solid, the one game where I cast it. Or I cast it a couple times, actually. Obviously, the Swiss Spears and Soul Scars are always going to be good. Kamano, great with all of those cards. Questing Druid was surprisingly mid, but not like, oh, this card is a bad card, but oh, this card is not as good as it normally is. And I think that that's because that type of effect is usually something I can play pre-combat. And in this deck, I can rarely play it pre-combat. I did play pre-combat with the bird there, the Slickshot Show Off, just then to do a lot of extra burst damage. But I'm not certain that like Questing Druid and Blossom Defense is like the way to go. Maybe the way to go is just like playing a bunch of Demonic Ruckus in mono red. I think if we do that, we'd probably move away from the Skewer the Critics build in favor of just like maybe a more pump heavy build. But outside of Monstrous Rage and Demonic Ruckus, I don't know if I would play any other pump spells. And that would basically just be a way for us to get Get-To Lava Runner out of the deck. But as far as the green-red one is concerned, I mean, the green cards were fine. And I think that that's really what we're testing out, because the core of Slickshot Show Off, Swiss Spear, Kumano, Monstrous Rage, Play with Fire, Soul Scar, this is like a good, 24 card package? 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24. This is like a 24 card package that's just like really strong. And outside of these 24 cards, you have a lot of ability for innovation. But it needs to complement these cards well. And I think that these green cards, a couple Witch Stalker Frenzy and the Demonic Ruckus, do complement these 24 cards very well. I think 20 lands is basically a must at this point. I've played with 19 reasonable amount, and I got stuck on one too much. And I think with 20, I think you're just right in the sweet spot. Sideboard, I think Case of the Crimson Pulse is still bad. I'd probably cut them. Magebane Lizard, Verdict is still out, but it does do the thing it's supposed to do while still letting you play Gigantha, so I'm still not certain. I would rather have more Rampaging Ferocidons, I think, just because I think Amalia combo is particularly weak in terms of matchups. And I don't think that we need like Lotus Field help, for example, even though that is the type of matchup where Magebane's going to be good. We're just already good enough thanks to the Slickshot Show-Offs. Pick Your Poison was awesome. The one game that I had to cast, and I made them sack an Atraxa, and I would not have beat that with Mono Red, I don't think. Mono Red could maybe play, a threat effect to steal it or whatever, but the Pick Your Poison for 1 green being a very versatile answer to stuff. Let's put it like this. If I were to cut green from this deck, I would still maybe want Blossoming Defense, and I would still want Pick Your Poison in the sideboard. And so maybe it's the no Wizard's Lightning version of Mono Red, just Blossoming Defense and Questing Druid, and sideboard Pick Your Poison. And then we replace Atarka's Command, Ruckus, Audacity, and Frenzy with like Light Up the Stage, Skewer the Critics or something like that. And maybe that leads our deck to being a little more efficient. But I don't know that it makes our deck better. I mean, we just 5-0'd with this, and it felt good. So I don't want to do anything drastic. But I do know that the core of the strength of this deck is coming from these 24 cards. And I think that these 24 cards are excellent. And these 24 cards are going to be around for a while. And you're going to need to figure out ways to pair with them, and you're going to need to figure out ways to beat them. And right now, the Gruul build is running rampant, and so spot removal doesn't do it. And so I honestly don't really know what does do it. Like, how are you supposed to challenge the Slickshot Show Off when it can be both plotted and protected with Blossoming Defense? And so you're just going to have to ask yourself, like, do I play the deck myself? Do I just go super low to the ground in terms of removal spells, like with a bunch of Play with Fire and a Fire Impulse of my own and Fatal Pushes? Like, is that the type of deck I want to play? Because any deck that does not do that, I am mangling. Anyway, that's going to do it for today's YouTube video. Thanks for watching. I'm Tandy. Make sure to check out our sponsors, ApexGaming.gg. Apex Gaming is a store out of Caldwell, Ohio that runs an awesome tournament series that Ross Mayer and myself do commentary for. We're in love with that store and that community and the owners, and we look forward to working with them every time we get to go. Moxfield.com is a great website for building and sharing your deck lists with your friends. I use it all the time. ! Deck or deck list in chat will give you a link to our Moxfield so you can see all the decks that I play and post. Also, big shout out to Games of Comics Paradise. Games of Comics Paradise is a game store out of Fairfax, Virginia. They specialize in trading card games and accessories. You can check out their website at gcparodice.com and pick up some singles. They got everything from Lorcana to Magic to Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! Make sure to check out gcparodice.com. I'm Tandy. I write articles on my Patreon. You can check them out at patreon.com/Tandy. I recently have a guide for Mono Red Slickshot, and that's got a full 15 matchup spread with thoughts on each. And you can check that out at patreon.com/Tandy. And that's me. I'm Tandy. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe button on your way out. We'll see you next time.